All right, we are live.
Snap. We are live. This is another episode of the Four for Freedom show. We are going to go back in the day. That was Win, in case you were wondering. We're going back in the day, Win. And I'm going to introduce the band, and we're going to start out with Eddie, the Razor's Edge Aguilar. He's going to be popping those funky, fresh flows of personal development. What's up, Brother Eddie?
What's going on? Hey, I got to had to represent the old school. You know me with some pumpkin passion, just representing.
Right on, brother. And then we got Moku, the Volcano of Value Carrera. And he is going to wail his wisdom like a twisted sister because he want to rock and he ain't going to take it anymore when it comes to you not getting success. Moku Snyder, what's up?
I want to rock! Yeah! What's going on my entrepreneurs and rock and rollers out there?
Right. So Moku's fired up. He's got his volcano. Apparently his volcano voice ready too.
I'm British.
I'm a little British. And then we got with the Aviator shades. Thank God he's got his because I couldn't find mine. But we got Vidal Cisneros Jr., aka Cool Mo V, and he's going to be dropping those smooth grooves on how to get your mindset right. What's up, Vidal?
What's going on, peeps?
Loving them shades, dude. Loving them. And lastly, I am Jason J. Boom, Lee Guard. My goal tonight is turn all of you into a bunch of deaf leopards to all that hysteria around you, all the negativity, the naysayers, the doubters, the people that are shooting down your dreams, or trying to, because they don't understand that you want to be an animal and rocket to success. That is my goal tonight. My brothers are here with me. We are the Four for Freedom. It's about to get crazy up in here. So, everybody, we're having a blast, per usual. We went next level with the outfits tonight, and hopefully you got a chance to see that great preview trailer Vidal put together, our back in the day win, with some great photographs of all of us back in the day, various stages. Just took us all back. And the main kind of point we're going to hit on tonight for all of you out watching this live show, watching the replay, is this is mainly going to be about personal development, the mindset, and the power of a mindset back in the day when you were a kid. And every dream, any dream you had, it was in the bag. You had it done. You were just fully focused. You were committed 24/7. It was just a done deal. And we're going to give you some examples from our history on that type of mindset and how we have been able to tap back into that as we embrace this entrepreneur journey, working this internet lifestyle, and why it's become so important to all of us, and it allows us to do ridiculous themed shows like this every Monday and just let it all hang out and just rock it like nobody's business. So guys, I want to have us, we'll start out with Razor's Edge over there with those just sick, sweet, coolio sunglasses he's got over there. And Eddie, let's start off with what was like a band or like your favorite music back in the day when that would just get your mind just in this great place of just empowerment, or just something that would jack you up. What was the band that did that? What was the song? What were the songs? What was the music?
Man, I went through this stage in junior high. Obviously, everybody went through stages, through their mod stages, heavy metal, their rap and whatnot. But I went through a metal stage. You know, it's funny because I grew up in a 2-bedroom house. Me and my brother shared a room, and on my walls, I had like a part of one wall and part of the other. I had Iron Maiden tapestries. I had Motley Crue, Wasp was a big one for me because a lot of people didn't listen to Wasp, but I fell in love with Wasp. I mean, it was funny because I had all that stuff on my wall, and my brother had one picture of Michael Jackson in a yellow fuzzy vest. And my brother talked about how he used to be scared because he would see all these, skulls and all this other metal stuff on my side. But anyways, had to throw that out there. But Motley Crue was a big one once I started getting into them. And then when I got into high school, AC/DC and the Scorpions were two groups that pumped us up. And AC/DC was my senior year. That was our tape. First thing when we got on the bus or we got to the locker room was who had the tape.
Yeah.
And we'd throw on Back in Black and press play. And it was one of those things. There was those some people that like to get pumped up and some people that could pump themselves up. And I was one of those guys that I would jump, get everybody gathered. I'd start yelling, screaming, cussing, F this, F that, I'm just talking, just get everybody pumped up. And then as soon as they'd walk out, I would just sit down and then just envision myself. And then I would start playing AC/DC in my head, seeing myself on screen, like I'm on a movie. And just making good plays, throwing a touchdown pass or laying some dude out or just whatever. So AC/DC was huge for me in high school, so there's quite a few of them.
Nice. Well, up next we got Moku Snyder. What was that band, man? What was that music that just got you in the zone and you could just keep going and going and going and never quit?
NSYNC, of course, man. Come on. No. Those my boys. I guess back in, I got into an era where I listened to a lot of punk music, so I don't know if any of you guys know, like Pennywise or NoFX, Bad Religion, all that kind of music, because I'd listen to that before I go skating or surfing, and it just really got me all pumped up and just in the zone, so I'd listen to that in my car, just like, yeah, let's do this, let's go out and be stupid in the waves and go out and try and too big of a wave. You shouldn't even be out there. And you're just listening in your head. So, I mean, I listened to that a lot. I was into, like, a lot of Beastie Boys, Wu-Tang, Tupac. So I was pretty versatile. And you, like I said, you'd catch me listening to, like, some 112 or something, like, just blasting it. So, I like all kind of music. Just matter what mood I was in. So, but I think most of it was usually like a punk era, that kind of stuff. Really got me pumped up. The vision just went, and I just listened to that, and then I'd go out and just do it. So that was me, man. That was me. I still listen to it to this day. So
nice, dude. Oh man, I'm liking the variety, which I kind of figured was going to happen with all four of us. It's just the way we roll. All right, Cool Mo V. Back in the day, when, brother? What was it? What was the jam?
Oh man, back in the day when I was wearing a pair of my J's on the court. Oh man, what was I listening to? Jeez, I listened a little bit of everything. A little bit like Moku, not so much with the punk though. It was more just kind of like old school hip hop. Man, I listened a little bit of Wu-Tang Clan, The Far Side, dude, just like old school hip hop,
nice.
Like the old real school, like so old that where it originated from. None of this new, 2 Chainz kind of whatever. I'm sorry, I'm just biased, guys. Sorry if you're young and you love 2 Chainz. It's all good. I only used to wear 1 chain, so it's all good. But anyway.
Nice, dude. Oh man.
Hey, so
I don't know if you guys can.
You're not gonna chain in a rope?
Nice. Oh
no,
man.
not at all, man. Not at all.
Nice. I like rocking the J's. You gotta show that jersey, man. You gotta show that old school jersey. Throw that
That's
up.
what I'm saying, man. This is my old school Bulls. This jersey has seen many days. Okay?
Many days on that court.
Many days. This is like old school, like champion kind of jersey, dude. So
many crossovers.
Crossing people over, breaking ankles, man. Breaking ankles. Oh, guys, no, we're just getting ready for this show and finding my zebra cowboy hat and all this in honor of like Poison, Motley Crue type stuff. Definitely into them. But I remember the two bands, especially, like I wore their tapes out, especially when I was going down to the old Fortuna school. I hit the gymnasium during the summertime working on my basketball game, and I would be running wind sprint. I would be running suicide drills by myself, running laps, doing three-point drills, and I'd be cranking Def Leppard Hysteria front to back. I just let that thing run, or I put in some Guns N' Roses Welcome to the Jungle. And I remember when Welcome to the Jungle, that song, that intro with that, and I would just like, and I would be like, I could run like I've never ran before. I mean, you could not stop me. Those were my two albums. I wore them out on, and back in the day when it was cassettes in the boombox, the Ghetto Blasters, that's how old we are. And and that was just, but those are my two, because it would just, there's something about the music that it didn't even really matter so much the lyrics. It was those guitar riffs, it was those drums, and you would just almost get like an animalistic thing going where you just touch into this raw energy of just like, I'm gonna kick ass in whatever I'm doing today. It could be basketball, football, it could be some hobby, I mean, whatever. Like, you crank that up, I was good to go. So that would be my two go-to, I guess, albums, you could say. I tell you what, guys, so hopefully anybody watching right now, throw up some comments. Throw up your favorite bands, songs that got you jacked up back in the day when, maybe you're into NSYNC. You're younger than us. NSYNC just got you going, man. You just got in the groove, and you were like, that was the jam. There you go. I've sung it at karaoke.
Oh man.
I've done pop. I've done it.
No, it's all coming out of the woodwork now.
It's all coming out of the woodwork, man. I tell you what, guys. Let's transition now into this the personal development power of this. I'm going back in the day when we were all kids. And I think this is so important to every adult watching this show tonight or watching this replay, is that if you had a dream, and like we were talking about in the intro, with the event invites, talking about how life gets in the way, and you lost time and you lost sight, of that dream back in the day when, and then all of a sudden, like, you're like, what happened? And you kind of get wound down. You're just kind of doing your thing. You're grown up now, and you're thinking, well, I can't act like that anymore. That's how a kid is, and that doesn't apply anymore. And we want to do this show tonight, and we're keeping our wigs on and shades on and whatever, our outfits on this whole way for this show to prove to you guys, look, we ain't no spring chickens here. And we're doing this show tonight, rocking this kind of ridiculousness. And we are having a blast with it. And it allows us to tap back into that kid and have that limitless energy of enthusiasm for what we're doing as marketers, as entrepreneurs, as leaders, out here online, helping people. Because we want you to have this much damn fun. Like we do every Monday night, and not just Monday nights. We have this much fun when we text each other getting ready for the show. We have this much fun when we do our masterminds prepping what's the next theme. We have this much fun when we connect with one of you out there that's looking for a change. And we're ready to rock it all the time, and we have a blast. So let's start off with Eddie over there, with his funky freshness. Give us just a, we're just gonna tell some stories, man. Tell a story back in the day when, like, maybe it was a dream you had or something you wanted to be that you went after. Maybe it was a hobby you were just all on fire for. But just take us back there and, like, where your head was at. Like, how did you get things done? What was the energy you were feeling?
Growing up, I was always competitive, and it was one of those things that it almost was too competitive, but I grew up playing baseball with my dad. My dad been coaching Little League Baseball before I was born, so I was always around sports. He was a Vietnam vet. Just that tough mentality, and I think that's where I get a lot of my, I guess he was more on the serious side, but he had a calm smartassness about him. And so it was a lot about being around my uncles. I grew up in a small town where everybody else's dad was your dad. When your dad wasn't around, it was you screwed up. The next dad in line had permission to take care of business if he needed to. And that didn't happen, but we knew as kids that that was there. It was where everybody's parents took care of everybody else's kids. And I loved it. You felt safe. But growing up, I had the mindset of wanting to, I guess in some senses, overachieve. Some aspects of certain things in life, I was like almost overachiever, and then other aspects, I was kind of an underachiever. So it's kind of trying to find that balance growing up. But one thing I learned with, and I'll just use this as football, was my parents would let me play football as a little kid. And they didn't let me play till finally I was in 7th grade in junior high. So once I started playing, I always wanted to be number 81, wide receiver. Yeah, I forgot his name. James Jefferson, John Jefferson. He was from ASU, number 81. He played for Green Bay. And because I was one of my dad's fans, so obviously Dad loved him, so I loved him. And I started out as a tight end. And then my cousin, who was 10 times athlete, I wasn't eligible, so then they moved me to quarterback. And so I'm like, all right, I'll do it, but I want to be a receiver. 8th grade, same thing. They made me quarterback, but I wanted to be a receiver. So finally I got into high school. It was a sense of, all right, I'll be on JV. You know, I'll get to be a receiver finally. Well, who was quarterback last year? Well, Eddie was. Put me back at quarterback. And I'm like, man, I got to get out of this quarterback scene. It wasn't that I wasn't bad. My heart just wasn't in there. And it would happen my sophomore year, my junior year, even my senior year. I was still quarterback all those years. And it finally hit me like my senior year. I'm like, why am I fighting this? This is where I'm supposed to be. You know, why not just take it on and become one of the better quarterbacks in the state of Arizona, at least try to be, you know, mentally and work on it. And so that kind of helped carry over that sometimes we don't get exactly what we want. It is every time we try and fight resistance, sometimes if we keep fighting, we're not allowed to expand and blow up the way we should. And for me, by having been put in that position as a quarterback, and I know it's going way back in the past, it's helped me to, in a sense, become a better leader. It helped me when I moved on to hot shotting, to how to become a leader on a hot shot crew. You know, it helped me in so many aspects of even with coaching, so on and so forth. So I guess the competitiveness of wanting to be the best is a good thing in a sense, but there was still that resistance. Sometimes I didn't see the full value in myself, and that has kind of come full circle where now I can share that with other people. Like, hey, the more we fight, you know, you might be fighting something that's supposed to be. And that might be the best thing in the world, but you don't know until you let it happen. So I hope there's some message in that, but I hope you guys got something out of that. But that's just kind of, that was part of my life that I've looked back on. I've used it. I used it coaching softball, and I coached one girl. I'll just throw this out real quick. And she was the best pitcher on her team, but she was not a pitcher. And I talked with her grandpa, and I said, you know, it reminded me of back in the day when I was trying to get out of quarterback. And he started laughing, and he came back to me about a week later. He goes, Eddie, he goes, I thank you for what you said. We put her in. We got her a pitching coach just to help her get through the season. We know, you know, everybody else knows she's not a pitcher, but we might as well take advantage of it and help her be the best pitcher she can just for the season. And they did that. So it's kind of helped carry over, which kind of shed some light on somebody else.
Nice. No, I think that's huge, dude, what you said, as far as, you know, some insight, like you said, where you had a gift for that position, and they kept putting you in there because you were kicking ass. But in your mindset, you're like, no, like, I'm stubborn. I want number 81. I want to be a wide receiver. And you just kept fighting instead of just like, well, they keep putting me in a position of success, so why would I reject success? Like, you know, I'm doing, you know, I'm you know, I'm in the spot.
Close-minded.
Yeah, so that's huge. All right, well, let's move on to the volcano of value, Moku Schneider. And Yeah, rock them. Put those things back up. Put them headband or armbands back up. Yeah, see, full commitment to the show, man. Moku, again, we're just sharing stories, man. Back in the day when everything was possible and we just went for it, nothing held back. So, share a story that, whether it be mindset, something you went through, like Eddie, just let's just roll with it, man. Let's rock it.
Man, wasn't that a beautiful time back then when you had no worries, nothing? You woke up every day and you're like, today's going to be the best day ever. You're out all day. You didn't come home till the street lights came back on and you're just doing your thing, man. But, man, I was kind of like Eddie, too. I grew up playing sports pretty much year-round. My dad was a coach pretty much for football, baseball, and all my uncles were coaches. So I was at the baseball field. I was pretty much at the park all day, every day, practicing games, blah, 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 all that stuff. So I grew up around that. That was just what I knew. But when I was young, man, I used to have all kind of crazy dreams. I wanted to be a fighter pilot. I remember watching like Top Gun, like, dude. I was like, that's me. Yeah. I was like, Iron Eagle. I was like, I want to do that. I was like, I'm so gonna do that. That was me.
Dude, hold up. You broke out Iron Eagle.
Iron Eagle, man. I was like into it. I was like obsessed. I was like, dude, I'm gonna be.
Get that Walkman on your leg, man, while you fly. You gotta have the Walkman with that 80s rock going while you fly, man.
Exactly. So I had that dream, and then I had, I wanted to be a motocross racer. I used to be all into that. And then I was a skateboarder. I've been all that. I kind of always liked the kind of extreme sports. I've always been that way. I've been a little opposite from most people. So I like to try like crazy things, but I guess what happened, it happens to a lot of us, as we grow up, we get older and older, we start to lose that dream, that dream as a kid. You start getting more responsibilities as you get older. You have all these outside, influences telling you, what are you doing, that's not going to happen. You need to go here, you need to do this. This is the way, I did it. This is the way you need to do it if you want to have a good life, you want to have a family, you want to take care of them, go to school, do this, do that. And I guess as I got older, I lost my way. I guess all those dreams kind of just faded away, and they're still up there as dreams. To this day, I still want to fly. I always wanted to fly, so I know I will one day learn how to fly. I don't know what, whether it be a plane, a helicopter. It probably won't be a jet fighter, pilot, whatever. But that's cool. I'm down with that. But I guess what I'm saying is, as you lose your sense to dream as you get older, and you fall into what most people around this world do now, they fall into that regular thing and just follow the leader. They're following the wrong leader. And they're not really following their heart, following their mind, what they really want. And I was doing the same thing, man, for years and years and years, just going through the motions. And to be honest, I wasn't really shooting for anything. I was just kind of going with the flow and see what happens. But then, like you said, I changed my mindset around. I said, I had to that point where I was like, that's it. I want to rock. I want to screw all this stuff, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to do what I want to do, and I'm going to bring whoever wants to come with me and change their life as well. So that's how I came onto the internet, found the internet. Yeah, I failed a lot of times, but I didn't quit. I eventually found a bunch of these guys, like always, I say it every time, because I'm truly blessed to where I am right now. And I guess my mindset is at a place now where I'm dreaming, and I'm seeing that it's actually possible. So things that I dream now, that I maybe would have dreamt back in the day, never made sense to me. I thought that was never going to happen. I'm just going to stick to my little old ways in Hawaii and just do what I got to do just to get by. But now my dreams are like big, my visions are big, my visions are clear. I already see it happening before it's already happening. So that's an amazing thing. I actually got my sense to dream back again, and dream and take action on those dreams, and actually start to see them come to fruition and come to into my life. So all you guys out there that kind of lost your ways of dreaming, really just take a time out, just think about what you really want. If you have to write it down, whatever it is, everybody has different dreams, but just know that you can do it. Trust me, you can do it. These guys know they can do it. I mean, we all have different dreams, but we have the same mindset. We all kind of got the same, we're in the same, what do you call it, universal vibration, you want to call it that. So we're kind of in that same zone. We all want to help people out. We got the same dreams for all you guys out there watching, and we're here to help. So just let us know how we can rock you out, and that's it, buddy. Rock out.
Dude, it sounds a lot like you were about to spout those two immortal words from the great Steven Tyler. Be like, dream on, dream on. You know, something like that. Anyways,
I could have.
You could have. Man, I love what you're talking about, man. Just that, I like to be just where you talked about, like, it wasn't even so much like you got to that point where you even weren't even shooting for anything. And I think we all four of us have experienced that part of our lives where you're just kind of, it's not like things are necessarily like bad, but they're not really good either, and you don't even really have that dream floating around anymore. You know, where when we were kids, like, you had 27,000 dreams every day.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm gonna do this. Like you said, I'm gonna go to this sport. I'm gonna be extreme surfer guy. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be hanging with Tom Cruise and F-14 Tomcats and dating Kelly McGillis. You know, everything was happening all the time, and then all of a sudden, like, you're just kind of there. And so I think that was a huge point you made, where then you tap back in. You know, and that's it's like, that's why we're doing this show. We want to help everybody watching, like, hey, you can tap back in like we've tapped in, you know. And speaking of tapping back in to the flow of energy and vibrations, we're bringing up Vidal Cool Mo V, and I know he's got some stories from back in the day, maybe breaking some ankles on the court. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do, but he's got some wisdom, I'm sure.
Oh man, you know what? That was me on the court, dude. 24/7, much like Eddie and Moku. Dude, they used to call me 24/7 because I was on the court 24/7, dude. During the summertime, it was eat, sleep, and just do whatever I had to do there. That's how I was. So this jersey has seen many days on a hot asphalt, I'm going to tell you right now. But that was me, man. I was a huge Michael Jordan fan. I've been a Michael Jordan fan since 1980. Geez, when he was a freshman at North Carolina. That's how long I've been watching him. I know I'm dating myself, but that's okay. That's okay.
Damn! Now, it is back in the day. Way
in
back.
The day, I had the first pair of Jordans. That's how old school. That's how old school we are over here.
Nice.
That's dope.
But dude, yeah, I grew up the same way you guys did, playing on the playground, whether it was baseball season, football season, basketball. It didn't matter. Whatever season it was, we're out there playing, tackle football, breaking ankles, like dogpiling on each other in the freaking end zone. Okay, then you got the fattest guy that wants to just, dogpile on the top as your ankles like sticking out, and you're like, oh, dude. And then especially here in the Midwest with the snow, Moku. It's the snow is the best, dude, to play tackle football. I'm going to tell you right now, because it gives you that extra cushion and that extra danger factor that you're like, oh my God, if I don't put my hands out, I'm going to probably crack my skull open on this ice. Yeah, dude. If you want adrenaline rush, yeah, play tackle football with like a sheet of ice on the freaking field somewhere. Oh man, but no, dude. What was I gonna tell you guys? Yeah, that's the thing about us when we're kids. We, everything it was that you wanted to do, whether it was I was watching Karate Kid and I wanted to freaking do martial arts the next day. My old man would say, "What, do you want to beat up some kids at school?" I'd be like, no, I want to do the Karate Kid. I want to do the, the crane. Let me just try the crane, pops. Come on. It was just the fact that anything's possible. You know what's crazy is everything I've wanted to do ever since I was a kid, I've pretty much done it, or at least seen glimpses of possibilities of me doing it.
Nice.
Even being a ninja, dude. So, that's what's crazy, man, is I train with ninjas, dude. Yeah. And I got nunchucks, bro. Yeah, I got nunchuck skills, man.
Oh, dude, we should do dueling nunchucks for one of those shows. I got my nunchucks still. We could do that.
Yeah, I better wear some football helmets.
Oh man, dude. See, we love to have fun on this show. That's what I love about this. But
always do.
Yeah, man. I was into pretty much everything an inner city kid was into. That was me. I grew up in the inner city, so that's just kind of how it was. And then what's funny is now my daughters, you know, they don't know inner city life. They know suburban life. Mm-hmm. So now I'm like slowly trying to integrate them when they get to that next stage of, okay, now it's, you got to be diverse and meet people from all areas of life. Like, and them being private schooled most of their lives, my oldest, she's in public school now, and I'm starting to teach her a little bit of the street ways. You know, that's the beauty too of being a kid as we're growing up. You know, you get into your first fight. You do the first of everything, man. Like when you're young. So, man, I remember, I was telling you guys, I remember, what was that? You remember just hurting yourself that first time you needed to get stitches? You guys remember that?
Oh yeah.
It's like that's like embedded in you. And as an entrepreneur, you kind of need those skills too. As in, like, you know what? You're gonna fall, but get back up. Because I remember I biffed myself on some metal pedals, and I scarred up my knees pretty bad. I had freaking blood just spraying all over the place. And I get on the bicycle the next day, you know, just some stitches. Oh well, I still got the scar. But no, those are things that we forget, dude. We slowly forget how to dream. And that's crazy. And everything I've wanted to do, it's like it's right here unfolding before my eyes right now. With all you guys. That's the beautiful thing. And we're like we're feeling like our heart is like, okay, it was possible when I was a kid. Why did I listen to everybody else? Why was I sitting there taking everybody else's advice that had never gone down that road? Kind of like rich dad, poor dad. Why am I going to listen to the poor dad when I need to listen to the rich dad, right? Why am I thinking the rich dad is a total douche because I want to think like the poor dad? You know, it's like, come on. There's another way. So I don't want to get too far off on a tangent, man, but yeah, definitely for those of you out there that are wondering what's going on with the button down below, you're going to have 2 free offers this week, okay?
Nice.
So the first offer is you're going to be able to combine the past 2 weeks training into one super ultimate level training for custom images, okay? And then the second bonus, once you opt in the second time, then you're going to be able to access all of our free offers, our free trainings, all our exclusive stuff inside our 4 for Freedom Facebook group. And then on that last page, you're going to be getting our YouTube in-video programming secrets, okay? So for a lot of you that are newbies out there, you know, internet marketing, it isn't that tough. It's just a matter of, okay, what do I got to do next? So this is the next step for those of you that are learning YouTube, you know, how to create a YouTube water branding mark and how to create a featured YouTube video on across all your whole channel. So that's pretty much it. And I'm done. Throw it back at you, man.
Dude, well, first of all, once again, you know, this is about having a lot of fun, but our main focus is to help everybody. You know, and that's kind of like the focus of this show tonight. Is like get started. Like get started again on a dream. That was kind of like where the energy and the enthusiasm and the costumes, everything came from tonight. Is like we know how we kind of restarted our lives by becoming entrepreneurs and by and then working with each other and doing this, coming up with this whole 4 for Freedom revolution that we do every Monday night. And we're just always wanting to bring more and more and more. You know, every time we do a show, we're trying to make everything better. We're trying to provide more value, more leadership, and being real. That's our biggest thing. You see all 4 of us tonight. I mean, we have no shame, obviously. I mean, look at Moku, for God's sake.
Dude.
I mean,
this is my real hair, man. I promise. Just because my eyebrows are brown, these are my real goatee locks.
Yeah, you know, I mean, come on. I mean, I got a zebra cowboy hat on. Party City. I tell you what, I want to share with you something that just popped back in my head, and it's some wisdom I got from my dad, and it definitely it came rushing back while you guys are telling those great stories of back in the day when. And I remember, like, maybe all you guys same thing, you know, the age where the G.I. Joes, like that was the thing to go do, like that, making the battle scenes, and I mean, you dig tunnels and bases, and you had Black Cat firecrackers for like explosions. You got floods coming through the base. I mean, like for me, that was like one of the most fun I ever had growing up as a kid. Is like I go out there for 8 hours straight one day and dig this entire base out, just to then come back the second day for 8 hours and have the one lone dude come in and you know, take on all the bad guys and then utterly destroy the entire base I just spent a whole day creating by, like, you know, blowing up the bridges and just all this craziness. And what was interesting is I look back now, that's where a lot of my imagination and my fascination and my creativity with the videos I make to this day as an entrepreneur, I was making movies with my G.I. Joes way back in the day when, because I was choreographing fight scenes and the action scenes and dialogue. I mean, it was, you know, the stunts, like, okay, he's gonna backflip over this bridge as the explosion goes off, and then he fights the main dude. So I was able to take, you know, back in the day when, playing with G.I. Joes, and I didn't know it at the time, that was then going to help give me an extra advantage when it comes to making videos and being completely, like, I just give everything when I do my creative type videos. Like, I have no fear. I'm still that kid, you know, playing G.I. Joes in the backyard. And one of the things I remember, it was that in-between age where it's just like, well, you know, that's not cool anymore to be, you know, doing the G.I. Joe. So, like, it should be more like you're moving on up in life. You know, it's the next stage of your life. And I remember something my dad told me in the kitchen one morning on a Saturday, and it stuck with me for the rest of my life. And because I was, you know, kind of like, oh man, I probably shouldn't, you know, whatever. And he says, Jason, he says, stay a kid as long as you possibly can, because once you cross over, you don't go back. Because then it's the responsibilities, and now it's not as fun because you're like, oh, I can't do that fun thing I used to love because now I'm here, you know. And I think there's such wisdom in what my dad said, because that's very true. But I also believe there's the opposite of that. Look at how we're dressed tonight, shooting this show and providing this kind of value and mindset training and leadership. I got blue and blonde hair on. Okay, I'm 42 years old, okay, and I'm sitting here with all y'all.
Damn!
I knew I was waiting for it, Eddie. I was waiting for it. So you can still be at least partially a kid. You can tap back into that, and I think that's why all of us, in many ways, have enjoyed becoming entrepreneurs, because we keep getting to tap back in. It's like a time machine. You know, like Vidal, he gets to rock his Aviators, he gets to rock his Bulls jersey, you know, and then it takes him back, you know. And one real quick thing as far as something that really struck a chord with me, and since all these three guys covered the sports angle big time, I'm going to throw out something kind of funny where one of my dreams, it was when the movie, and this is going to sound so screwed up, but back in the day when Red Dawn, the original Red Dawn movie, not that remake garbage, but Patrick Swayze, Charlie Sheen, all, you know, C. Thomas Howell, I thought that movie was so cool. And I was already kind of starting to get into I call it my military phase. My dad was in the Marine Corps for 4 years. He was a law enforcement officer. So I grew up learning military history, and I was into marksmanship all my life. So there was a part of me that at that point, like, man, I want to be like, you know, I want to be Rambo, man. Like, I had the cheesy survival knife with the compass and the waterproof matches in it, and I was all about that type of stuff. And I remember when Red Dawn came out, I got so pumped up about this whole military thing. like there was a part of me like, man, I would go out on the prairie because I grew up in North Dakota, and I go on the prairie with my toy guns and stuff. I have my backpack full of supplies, and I would envision it's World War III. How do I survive? And I would plan out, like, so I go live here in this. I'd make a lean-to, and I'd go get my buddies because they could, you know, they'd have skill sets that we could all use together, and we'd fight off, you know, whoever was invading us. And it was so, like, that was my thing. Like, I'm going to be, like, the ultimate soldier. And it was just this full-on commitment. And just, I would go out and wander the prairie for, like, 9-10 hours. You know, it'd be sunset, and I'd be coming home. And a lot of people think, like, well, you didn't really accomplish anything that whole time. You're just running around, you know, playing fake war, I guess, against the Russians or whoever was coming after us that time. But the thing is, the imagination power was so intense, and it allowed me to just, you know, rely on myself. You know, just there's different angles there and a different type of energy, and it was, you know, it's a kind of a weird example, but again, it comes back to when you're a kid, like whatever you were into, you were in it. I mean, there was nothing else. Whether it's, you know, Moku with sports, whether it's Eddie at the, you know, playing football, quarterback, whether it's Vidal on the courts 24/7, that was it. And as entrepreneurs, as we're all now adults, well, kind of, you know, depends on what you're looking at tonight.
Speak for yourself.
Exactly. But that aspect of being that fully invested in your dream, whatever it is. And we all know for a fact that we're working on our dreams, building our business online, and helping a ton of people along the way. And that's why we do this show. That's why we're the Ford for Freedom. And that's why we want to have a lot of fun with you on the way. And that's why we want to really share these crazy stories tonight and just take you back in it. Because we're hoping, at least in my mind, I'm hoping all of you watching the show tonight, watching the replays, when we're done here, you might go for a walk or something, or call up an old friend and just go back in the day when, like, whatever things you're into, and remember that feeling of like, man, we used to do that all the time and I loved it. Get that back now. You know? So guys, why don't we we'll go back to Eddie there. Eddie, you need to put your little sunglasses back on, man. Those they look too cool.
Oh, you don't like my eyes, huh?
What? We just heard it.
You have pretty eyes, Eddie. It's all right.
We got to kind of let those shades go to waste.
Shit, they got like 10 more of them at the gas station.
There you go.
But yeah, no, you're talking about something that hit key, and I wrote this on my whiteboard this morning because I was listening to I think it was Jim Lutz. I was listening to a little deal he had. And one thing he said is imagination is more powerful than knowledge. And knowledge is good, but imagination is envisioning. Imagination is, I look at it this way. Obviously, J Boom's our elder. I'm sorry, J Boom. Hey, we're going back in the day. I'd love to talk trash back in the day, so I got to joke.
Well, you still got skills, man.
No, but the thing is look at it this way. I'm 41, so I'm catching up to J Boom.
There you go.
But if I plan on living to 90, I'm still not halfway there. So I thought about this the other day. Even before this, I was like, okay, thinking about my childhood, this and that. You know, I had my kids and whatnot. And a lot of people they're afraid of 40. They're afraid of 30. And it's like, seriously? You're not even at 30. Expect to live to 90. If you expect to live to 90, you're just a third of the way completing your life. And at my age, I've gotten the mindset and the attitude that if I live to 90, I'm still not halfway there. So if I'm going to start being a little pansy and not dreaming anymore, then what's the rest of my life going to be like? So it's funny because when you start dreaming, you start envisioning. Like I said, I would sit on the bench right when the team would walk out. I'd give myself an extra minute close my eyes, envisioning myself throwing a touchdown pass, or envision myself, hit somebody hard. Well, it's the same in life. Envision yourself falling in love with, with the right woman. What is she going to be like? How's she going to treat you? Or right man, so on and so forth. Or, what's your ultimate job or career or lifestyle? For me, I envision myself speaking on stage in front of thousands and thousands and thousands of people. I envision in myself going to help nonprofit organizations and not charging, and helping them get their nonprofits going. I envision a lot of stuff, so that's where the imagination is more powerful than knowledge, but you got to take that imagination and then act on it, just like you did when you were a kid. Going up into the mountains and playing, Red Dawn, and I wanted to scream Wolverines when you brought up Red Dawn.
There you go.
Because that was one of my favorite movies too.
Yeah.
And I grew up the same way, but when Desert Storm broke out, I was about to enlist, and I went to my dad. I said, I think I'm going to enlist. And it was crazy. It blew me out of the water. My dad says, I went to war. Your grandfathers went to war. Your uncles went to war. He's like, I'd rather you not go to war. We went to war so you didn't have to go to war. Yeah. And which caught me off guard, but I saw how the after effects had affected him. I dealt with it. There's a lot of PTSD, and I think he was more afraid of that than anything else, of me coming back with the way he had come back. So I took a different route, and I rolled with it. But it's still, I had to take that strength of him as a soldier, incorporate it into my life, take that dream or vision or the stubbornness of that little kid that wanted to do what he was going to do and just do it. Yes, I lost it, but now I got it back. So like I said, I am not even halfway to 90, so why do I want to act like my life is over? I know I'm going to be a grandfather someday, and those little punks are going to be, we're going to have a blast. So that's what I envision. So.
Wow. Dude, that was powerful, and actually, this is great. This is a good way for us to kind of wrap the final point. Let's go with that theme, Moku, because Eddie hit on a really strong point. Especially as adults, and even we were more in touch with it as kids. Is visualization. So let's kind of run with that, because Eddie really nailed it with that. Like, what was back in the day when with you? Like, was there a way you used visualization as a kid? Maybe for that toy you wanted for Christmas, or you wanted to get in that sport. I mean, let's keep rolling with that.
Oh, that's kind of interesting you said that. When I was younger, I wanted a new skateboard so bad because I didn't have one. All my friends had nice skateboards. I had this crappy, beat-up skateboard. They used to tease me all the time. I was like, screw you guys, man. I was like, I'll ollie bigger than you, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So all I did for I don't know, maybe like a month straight was just envision me getting a new skateboard, getting this new skateboard, getting a new skateboard. I saw it. I could see it clear as day. Clear as day. I didn't know how I was going to get it because I'd ask my mom. She'd be like, oh, hell no. She's like, what are you talking about? Ride your skateboard you got now. I was like, oh, you don't know, Mom. Kids are teasing me. So I was like, all right, how am I going to get the skateboard? I'm just going to just keep thinking in my mind. I dreamt about it. And then one day I came home from school, and then I never would have thought this would have happened. My auntie goes, hey, how you doing? How's your day? She was at the house. I was like, oh, good. How you doing? She's like, good. She's like, oh, can you go grab me something from underneath the cabinet, underneath the sink? I was like, okay. So I go in there. I open up the cabinet. There's this little new skateboard there. I was like, what the hell is this? I was like, oh, my God. I was like, who got this for me? She's like, oh, I got it for you. I was like, how did you know? She's like, well, I kind of heard your mom telling you this, and your mom told me that you really wanted a skateboard. And I was like, guess what I'm saying? Like, you never know if you really want something and you don't get it the way you think you're going to get it. Most of the time, you're going to achieve that certain thing or get that certain thing, which is out of your radar, which, I mean, you never thought of it that coming in that way. And that's the way that skateboard for me came in that way. And I just thought of it, wow, I thought about it so hard and I wanted it so bad and I seen it so clearly, that vision of me riding that skateboard, getting a new skateboard, just enjoying the feeling of it was so real to me that it actually came to me in the probably least way I probably expected it. And that's just the thing, and I kind of lost that. I lost that as I got older. I lost that vision, man, that vision to just visualize everything so real, and just so it really feels like it's happening to you. And like Eddie said, nowadays I've got that back now. I got that back probably in the last couple years or so. And to me, I guess we're throwing out ages here, so I'm 34, right? I'm 34. I might be the baby. I don't know.
You're a youngin', man.
All right.
Get
Sweet.
out of here.
Whoop, whoop. I'm the youngster. All right, but I guess I got that back, and I feel like my life has just begun, man. Being 34 is nothing. That's just an age to me. I think when I'm 34, when I was back like 24, 21, I wasn't doing anything, man. I was just wasting my life away, just out there into the abyss, just doing whatever, you know. But now that I got it back, I got all these years and years to come. Who knows till I'm 100 that I got to, you know, be able to dream and actually get those dreams. So I'm pumped. I'm pumped about that. Oh, Jason, you didn't tell the audience that you're actually you saved the world from aliens. If they didn't see the trailer, you never saw it.
He went there. He went there. Oh, man.
So Jason obviously had an amazing vision back then.
I was gonna go there. If you didn't go there, he's got to go there, dude.
You got to check out the trailer. What we got to do? We got to end off the show with that trailer. Because that's an amazing trailer done by Vidal. And you're going to see Jason right there in his little alien fort, ruling the world in the desert, saving our lives back in the day.
Back in the day, man. Hey, at least I was rocking that polo shirt.
That's
with the
amazing.
face helmet and the holster. So I had some style when I was defending saving the world from aliens.
Like no other.
See,
That's right.
you were saving the world. If you guys ever saw the picture, I was getting spanked with a ruler.
Yeah,
so you see me back in the day like this, like yeah, I was a rascal, so I was up to no good. But
oh, dude,
we're getting off on a tangent here, boys.
Oh,
I know. Okay, back to the subject. Sorry.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, that's like you said, dude. Like with the visualization, whereas as kids, like it just came second nature to us. Like you said with the skateboard, like it was every night when you went to bed. It was when you woke up. It was all day at school. It was when you're out playing, and it was here, and you were riding it. You were like pulling tricks off all the time, and then like you said, it came in the most unexpected way. Your auntie and does the cool little surprise thing, which makes it even more powerful. So yeah, I mean that's huge, dude. And how we're talking about tonight, like we're tapping back in because we still got it. We just, like you said, we got away from it. We ignored it. Vidal, Kumo V, I mean, you're all about the visualizations. So I know you got something from back there. I know you had been doing some things back there.
Yeah, just to kind of bring this thing back into the business aspect of just sales. I mean, if you step back right now, think back when you were a kid. When you wanted something bad, okay? For me, it was obviously Jordans. I had to do a lot of chores. I had to save up a lot of money. I had to kiss a lot of butt to get a pair of J's, right? To get a pair of Jordans. So think about that. Think about when you were a kid, the whole process of you finally getting what you wanted. You had to basically sell your parent. Most of you was your mom. I know it was for me. Because if I sold mom, dad was good. Dad was like, all right. Mom said, fine, okay, good. So just get back to that when we're kids. I mean, my kids, they try to do the same thing to me right now. I'm not as how could I say, as I'm not that guy to fall for everything, right? So I make it more logical, like entrepreneurship now. I'm teaching my girls, okay, you got to get a job, right? But let's just say, fine, you're 10. You can't get a job, right, hon? Okay. Well, let's get you a lemonade stand. Let's set up, you're doing this this band thing. She made a couple of these bands for me, right? And I said, hon, why don't you just sell them to your friends? You're making them all for your friends. They love them. She's like, Dad, I can't. I'm like, what's a nickel? What's a dime? Right? She's like, but I can't. And it's the mindset that says, no, I can't because they're my friends. Well, it's like, hon, think about it this way. Parents are paying for the inventory, right? So just say, hey, I need some money so I can get some more, so I can make you kids some more. So I'm slowly starting to get her to think more like an entrepreneur, to start making nice, fair transactions. Not, hey, Dad, give me $10 just because I'm gonna bogart you for the money if you don't. You know what I mean? Not bully type, but like fair, where they're winning, both sides are winning. The other thing I wanted to touch on too was relationships. Okay, when I was a kid, I had a crush on this girl. God knows if she's watching right now, she might be. She knows who she is. Because this thing went from second grade, guys, all the way up until 7th, 8th grade, till I finally, started coming into my own, started growing a little peach fuzz stash, and I thought I was Mr. Pimpalicious, and I went for it. Guess what happened? Lo and behold, what I've been after for so many freaking years wasn't what I thought. Okay? Now, that went the other end of the spectrum on it, okay? As in, I wanted it so long, I didn't think I was worthy. And then when I got there, I was like, okay, all right, I understand now. I had this grandiose vision of how it was going to be like. And then it didn't even come close to that because I was so young and I didn't even understand what love was, right? We all think we know what love is because we listen to, Marvin Gaye and all these old school songs, and we think we know love, right? So the other thing I wanted to touch on was dreams. Obviously, when we were kids, we used to dream about everything under the sun. But like you said, Moku, and like all of us pretty much said, the more you focused on one thing, the more likely you were going to get it. Because you visualized it, you saw yourself wearing those Jordans, you saw yourself walking hand in hand with that girl, and now I take it a step further. Now it's like I see myself happy. Now I see myself with somebody that gets me for me, right? Whatever the hell that means, God knows, but I know.
Keeping it real.
Just keeping it real. But yeah, no, just getting back to this thing so it doesn't fly off the handle here. Like, think about when you were a kid and the possibilities were endless. That is what entrepreneurship is at its core, okay? At its ultimate core, it is seeing possibilities when you know somewhere in there's a voice saying, nah, not going to happen. And you say, it's like you're talking to your parent. No, it is going to happen, Mom and Dad. Wrestling is real. Hulk Hogan is real. Okay? Andre the Giant really can hurt Hulk Hogan. Okay? That conviction, that faith, all right? And then as your dad, says, look, they're coming out of the trailer together, okay? You see Hulk Hogan coming out of the trailer with Andre the Giant and Macho Man? Dad, they're just hanging out. They're like in a little time. They're doing lunch, okay? Just chill. Oh, guys, getting back to it. Be a kid again. There's nothing wrong with that. I have fun being a kid with my kids. And you know what? Honestly, I think that's what keeps me as young as I possibly can, and all these hairs on my head still standing there. Okay? Just bear with me. All right? So, guys, dream again, be a kid again, and just love again. Love again like you were a kid, just without a care in the world. Without thinking about marriage and a ring and a freaking prenup. Just who cares, man? Step out of your comfort zone and go for that girl that you never thought you'd have. God knows. God knows it might be possible. Why do you think all the entrepreneurs have the finest chicks? I'm gonna tell you. It's more than just the money, guys. I'm gonna tell you right now. Because I know a lot of people that have money, but they don't have the cajones to actually say, look, I'm worthy of this. I'm actually worthy of this. You see what I'm saying? So have that belief, have that conviction that it is possible. It can happen to you. Why not? Right? Whew. So, all right, guys, just to try to bring it back to entrepreneurship and believing that this thing is real. right? Making money online is real. These 4, clowns online right now you're watching on the screen can make money from being a bunch of goofballs, right?
Yep.
Just from sharing our passion. So, all right, man.
Dude, that was I love how you took it. I love how you're training your kids.
That's awesome.
So, I love that mindset shift. You're already telling, like, when she's like, well, no, I can't because they're my friends, and you're like, no. Like that's almost like the best situation because she's got her the armbands, which are beautiful, and she's putting a lot of hard work, and like she's blessing her friends by making those for them. So she should be blessed back. If it is like you said, a dime, 25 cents, a buck, whatever. It's like that's the perfect scenario we all want as entrepreneurs. Like we want to provide our blessing of our product or our service or our coaching, whatever, and then we just want to bless them, and then they bless us back with, what matches, which in this case, it happens to be money. That's the transfer. So I think that was I love the fact that like the lemonade stand, you're just like instilling in them early, like, look, this is okay to think this way, to look at life this way. There's bigger things going on than just what
Man, you know what? So many things are coming to mind, dude. I've been an entrepreneur ever since I was a kid. I could tell you guys a story. This thing's probably going to go another hour if I do. And I'm not going to go there. Maybe next time. But I'm going to tell you.
I say we can use that for the basis of the next costume change. Well, I tell you what, all these guys, the different topics you guys are touching on, and we're sticking with the whole visualization. Something popped in my head that I used to do as a kid, and that I think is so funny now as I look back at it, and how once you get into personal development work and you read a lot of the books and you go through the different courses and you learn about law of attraction and you learn about vibration, how you match up with things and the focus and visualization, all these things. I remember because I was huge into comic books. It was Batman, Spider-Man, Wolverine. Those are my 3 go-tos. Punisher. I mean, I was into that stuff, like collecting them, reading them, whole 9 yards, drawing, what have you. So I was all about like the superhero, kind of like saving the world mentality, or just it's anything is possible. It's the dream, and you are the hero. Like you can just go and you just go and you do the thing that needs to be done. And there is something I used to mess around with, and again, it's all about my imagination. But thinking of like superheroes and superpowers. I used to I'd be out on a long walk on, I used to call it the Spring Trail. It was this trail out in the prairie that was like 1.5 miles long that wound around our property, and it came back to the house. And I'd just be out there, and along the way I'd be thinking like things that I wanted in my life. And of course back then usually it was like, a more, a 4-wheeler or a 3-wheeler or, whatever, the newest cool toy or something. And I would be like envisioning that my hands were just like pure energy, and I'd be like thinking about like say the 4-wheeler that I wanted, the quad, ATV, and I'd stop and I'd be going just whoosh, like I'm envisioning energy in my hands, and it's been like and it's like shooting out into the ground, and the energy is forming the quad ATV on the trail in front of me, and then when I finally get done, it's sitting there and I jump on it and it's mine. And that sounds so ridiculous now, right. as adults. But when I look back to that mentality of that intense, and it wasn't like I just went in my mind of visualization like, yeah, I want the quad ATV Suzuki, and I just kind of go like, pow, and then just there it was. No, it was like this intense, like I'm a superhero, and I'm like, I'm controlling it, I'm trying to control this energy, and it's just like, whoa, and it's just like all my muscles are like full flex, and I'd be screaming and stuff, and it's like the energy's like these beams shooting out, and then bam, this thing would materialize. And I think now, once I got into personal development, became an entrepreneur, and I look at what all of us have created together with For Freedom, what we've created on our own in this journey, and we're doing that every day. Like we've got like the energy fists, and we're just like, and like things are happening every day. It's the next blessing, it's the next opportunity, it's the next sale. It's the business building faster. It's touching more people's lives. And the point I really wanted to kind of wrap, because we're just getting over the hour mark here, so I want to this hit me hard today as we were thinking about this whole theme and bringing the craziness once again with our costumes and going back in the day when everything was possible, and it had to do with the kid inside all of us. And obviously we got 4 kids in adult bodies on this panel tonight: Eddie, Moku, Vidal, myself. There's no doubt about that. Who else? You gotta be a little unstable to do this stuff. Anyways, what I thought about was the kid inside all of us. And I don't care how old you are right now as you watch this show or the replay, but a big part of what we're doing with the 4 for Freedom and what we do as entrepreneurs and as marketers and as business builders and dream builders, to be honest, is we know for ourselves, and I know this for you, every one of you has still that little boy or that little girl, that kid inside. He or she is still there. I don't care if you're like 90 years old, like Eddie was talking about, hitting 90. The kid's still in there, and the thing is, the kid never stopped believing in your dream. He or she never stopped believing in your dream. And what I want you to do tonight, going forward after watching this crazy show, I want you to reward that kid. That was what came to my mind with this show, what we're going to talk about tonight. I want you to reward that kid that never stopped believing, even though you may have, because they deserve to be blessed. That kid inside deserves to receive that reward of you taking another shot at whatever dream you've got right now that you forgot about. You may have forgot because you're 42 and you just are going through the motions, but that kid inside, he's running around full speed 24/7 saying, hey, what are we doing? I never stopped believing. What happened? Reward, bless that kid inside by going after whatever your dream is right now. We are here to help you take that step. Find that kid again, grab him by the hand and say, let's rock. Guys, I think that's about it, man. What any last words from the band? Everybody's muted. Moku's rocking out, doing.
Oh man!
I was rocking out by myself. Cool.
This is good. Hopefully we didn't go too far off on a tangent for everybody watching out there. But definitely throw your comment down below. Let us know what you were rocking back when you were a kid. Let us know.
Yeah.
Like what were you dreaming about when you were a kid? I saw somebody comment below.
Yeah.
And
Purita.
Sorry for chopping up your name. Better Eddie than me. But anyway.
Yeah.
If you're out there and you're saying, look, just like she commented below, I haven't dreamed in a long time. I haven't thought about those dreams when I was a kid in such a long time. And it's like you have to go back to that, because if you don't, think of the regrets you're going to have when you're 80, 90, or 100. Because, my daughters, they like to joke around with me. I got my little one. She's a little spitfire. She's a little, likes to be snarky. And she always says, Dad, how old are you? Are you like 40 or 50? I say, no, honey, I'm like 100. Actually, I'm probably going to live to like 200, so I look pretty freaking good, hon, right? I look like $1 million. And she looks at me and she's like, Dad, I don't like you, because obviously she's trying to be a little snarky at me, and I'm not biting. I'm like, no, I'm good, honey. I look good for 100.
Nice.
So I love the fact that Eddie brought that up, and I think a lot of us need to go back to that and look at the perspective. Like Jason said, there's still that little boy, that little girl inside of you that wants to play with their Barbies and brush your hair. And why? Why did you want to do? You wanted exactly that same Barbie blonde hair, right? That was your thing.
Well, or like Moku, or myself. Moku's
right.
Barbie blonde.
Right. So now, it's your turn to dream again, and kind of do it in a way by visualizing, right? Day after day after day, creating a vision board, that's one part of it, right? But here's the kicker part. Here's the best part of it. Is consistently taking one action every single day or more to get there, okay? So if it's the fact that you want to have beach blonde hair, long hair, well, okay, what do I got to do to get that? I mean, it's not that hard, right? I just got to get some extensions, right? Okay, well, I got to save up for it. I'm just using a dumb example, but nonetheless, it's an example. Anything's possible. You never know, and this is what I tell my daughters all the time, especially my little one. Anything's possible. Why not? If they can put a guy on the moon, if there's a plane that's can get all the way up to the moon, okay, which is coming. Tesla's like in works to create this thing. All right, they want to put people on the moon, like ship them there, like back and forth. Why not? Who's to say that it's not possible? So, Jason, back at you, brother, before I start going nuts.
Well, yeah, no, I just, I don't know, I think we've all touched on some great points, and just we wanted to have a little extra fun tonight. That's why we broke out the outfits, we did the crazy trailer with the pictures, and we wanted to just, we wanted to bring you back with us. And I love the fact we've got some interaction where it's like, she's now going back in her memories, and she's remembering to the dreams, because, like I said, let help that kid out inside. Help the kid out, because he's been hanging around in there with no toys, no nothing for years, because you've been caught up in the quote unquote being an adult and in forgetting about the dream. Get back to it. We are here to help you in any way we can, and we know for ourselves, becoming entrepreneurs and using this tool of the internet is allowing us to continue every day, take action, like Vidal said, like we do on Monday nights with this show, taking action to keep going after those dreams. The new one's coming, or maybe getting that old one that we haven't quite got yet from back when we were 10 years old. Whatever it is, we're bringing it, we're rocking it out every single day. The Four for Freedom, Eddie, Vidal, Moku, myself, J Boom, we are here 24/7 like Vidal back in the day, ready to bring it for you. That is the show.
I got my sneakers. Who wants to hoop? Let's go.
Moku wants to sing again, I'm pretty sure. Like,
bye-bye, baby, bye-bye.
Oh,
okay, what requests do you guys want? Some NSYNC? I got it all.
Oh, we need to have some like intro and outro songs for real.
Yeah, I thought Eddie was gonna like break out the turntables or something.
We should end it with the trailer. They're gonna love that. Can you
screen share that?
It's gonna have to be Moku or Eddie.
Here, hold it.
I think that'd be awesome.
Let's see if we can get that up for you guys. Close us out with that.
We'd close out with that, because that was ridiculously funny.
That's awesome. I love it.
We want Jason to tell a little bit of the backstory with Leslie Nielsen.
Leslie Nielsen? Well, the music will be playing, though, man.
Yeah, go ahead and talk about it while I try and pull this up.
Oh, okay, cool. No, one of the pictures of me with the back in the day trailer, I got to be an extra on a movie set. It was a straight-to-cable movie called, I think, A Family Plan with Leslie Nielsen and Judge Reinhold. I played a waiter, a valet, and something else. And it's got to spend, I think, 2 weeks on set. And I got a picture with Leslie Nielsen, got to chat with him a little bit. He actually would come down with his wife in the catering tent and have lunch with all the extras and everybody. He was such a genuine man, just a total professional, but totally down to earth. I mean, and this was well after the Naked Gun movies and all that, craziness. But he was so just cool. I mean, he was just hanging. It was like he was having a blast making movies still, and that was late in the game for him. And I just went up to him and said, "Hey, Mr. Nielsen, I love your comedy. Like, you're just so hilarious. So would you mind if I get a quick shot? It's been great, work on the set with you." And he's like, "Oh, sure." It's like, bring it in and get this great picture. And then we had like a 5-minute conversation. And he didn't have to do that, but
nice.
He took the time, and it was definitely a fun experience. And just it shows that, like, I mean, I don't know how old he was at the time. You want to talk about someone who was still living his dream as a kid?
Oh, dude. Totally.
That was Leslie Nielsen, man. That was Leslie Nielsen.
Great way to segue it. Looks like Eddie's ready.
Oh.
All right.
Tell me if it starts playing.
Let's see.
It's playing. Turn up the volume.
It's playing. Yeah, me. Oh, yeah.
Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I said, when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I said, wish I was a kid again. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I said, wish I was a kid. And everybody say, I remember way back when. And everybody say, I remember way back when. And everybody say, I remember way back when. What? Back in the days, I said, back in the days. And everybody say, I remember way back when. And everybody say, I remember way back when. And everybody say, I remember way back when. What? Back in the days, when? Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I said, wish I was a kid again. Back in the days when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore. But some days I said, wish I was a kid. And everybody say, I remember way back when. And everybody say, I remember way back when. And everybody say, I remember way back when. What? Back in the days, when? Back in the days. And everybody say, I remember way back when. And everybody say, I remember way back when. And everybody say, I remember way back when. What? Back in the days, when? Back in the days. And everybody say, I remember way back when. And everybody say, I remember way back when. And everybody say, I remember way back when. What? Back in the days, when?
Did it?
Yeah, great way to end it, guys. Oh, man.
All right, close this out, J Boom.
That's all we got, guys and gals. All you kiddies out there, those little boys and girls inside, get back in touch with that dream. Tap back in. Go back in the day when you not only believed it was possible. I mean, you had such faith, like you knew you were going to be the next Top Gun pilot, just like Moku. It was going to happen. Make it happen, whatever you're doing nowadays. We are here for you. We're going to bring it 24/7 like Vidal. We're going back in the day when everything was possible. Boom.
We are